one of the stupidest things I did at the school was I called one of my classes a master class, but over the course of my teaching, I did sleep with students, and that was wrong.
And if he acts like he has nothing to hide, he really does believe that people will believe it.
Climb the top of that mountain, attention from women, success with women, also became a huge source of validation for me.
James Franco was one of the biggest stars around. He was hailed as a heartthrob and loved by millions of adoring fans around the world. He showed a natural style and versatility for playing everything from lovably immature characters in movies like Pineapple Express to supervillains and serious dramatic roles. He rose from a once struggling McDonald's employee to become a leading man in Hollywood and was later selected for iconic roles such as the Green Goblin in the Spider-Man franchise and James Dean in a biopic of the tragic star.
I want to study here.
Are you any good?
I don't want to be just good. I want to be great.
At one time, Franco seemed to be everywhere and doing everything, from hosting the Oscars to attending various schools to further his education. He initially garnered much positive media attention for his activities as a student by writing poetry, teaching acting, and being hailed as a talented writer and artist. However, shortly after, his bright stardom abruptly began to dim. The year 2018 marked a turning point in the public perception of actor James Franco. As allegations of inappropriate and exploitative behavior began to surface, his image took a significant hit. These allegations, which ranged from creepy encounters to apparent exploitation and SA, not only led to legal action, but also stirred a broader conversation about the abuse of power in the entertainment industry.
This morning, the Me Too movement is heating up, as actor James Franco now stands accused by at least 5 women of sexual misconduct.
The first notable incident that brought Franco into the spotlight for the wrong reasons occurred in early April 2014. Gawker published messages between Franco, then 35 years old, and a 17-year-old Scottish girl who was visiting New York City. The girl had recorded a video with Franco after seeing him in a Broadway production of Mice and Men. Franco's messages to her were alarming, as he seemed to be trying to lure her to a hotel room, asking personal questions and making suggestive remarks. The girl wisely declined to meet him because she was underage, but Franco later admitted to hitting on her, attributing it to bad judgment on a talk show. He expressed embarrassment and noted the challenges of maintaining privacy in the age of social media. The real turning point came in January 2018 during the Golden Globe Awards. Franco accepted an award for his work in The Disaster Artist, while wearing a Time's Up pin, a symbol of support for the initiative aimed at combating workplace SA. This gesture of allyship did not sit well with some viewers, including Ali Sheedy, an actor known for her role in The Breakfast Club, who tweeted, "James Franco just won. Please never ask me why I left the film TV business." Sheedy quickly concluded she'd said too much and took down the tweet, but other women picked up the thread. "Hey, James Franco, nice hashtag Time's Up pin at the hashtag Golden Globes," Sarah Tyther Kaplan tweeted. "Remember a few weeks ago when you told me the full new you had me do in 2 of your movies for $100 per day wasn't exploitative because I signed a contract to do it? Time's up on that. Cute hashtag Time's Up pin James Franco," wrote Violet Paley. "Remember the time you pushed my head down in a car towards your exposed pee? And that other time you told my friend to come to your hotel when she was 17, after you had already been caught doing that to a different 17-year-old? Within the week, 5 women, including Paley and Tyther Kaplan, went on the record with the LA Times. Their complaints focused largely on Franco's short-lived acting schools, Studio 4 in New York and LA, and a $750 masterclass called S Scenes. 2 women also said Franco subjected them to uncomfortable and unprofessional conditions while he was a teacher at Playhouse West in LA. According to his Studio 4 students, Franco seemed to dangle parts in his movies in exchange for nudity. According to a woman named Kate Ryan, who worked with Franco at both schools, the actor would always make everybody think there were possible roles on the table if we were to perform S acts or take off our shirts. Tyther Kaplan recalled a scene from 2015 that required her to be totally unclothed. Franco simulated oral S on each participant but removed the plastic guard covering their V's first. After he sent home an actor who complained about having to dance around him topless in an unscripted scene. "I got it in my head pretty quickly that, okay, you don't say no to this guy," Tyther Kaplan said to The Times. And Paley, an aspiring filmmaker who says Franco promised her feedback, recalled an incident that allegedly occurred in 2016 fine after the two had begun dating. They were sitting in a car talking, she said, when Franco started pushing her to perform oral S on him, which they hadn't done yet. All of a sudden, his pee was out, she said. I got really nervous and I said, "Can we do this later?" He was kind of nudging my head down and I just didn't want him to hate me, so I did it. At the time, Franco's lawyers categorically denied the allegations as not accurate and gestured toward a statement his client had made to Stephen Colbert. The things that I've heard that were on Twitter are not accurate, but I completely support people coming out and being able to have a voice because they didn't have a voice for so long, Franco said after the Globes. I don't want to shut them down in any way. I think it's a good thing and I support it. By the end of the month, Paley and Tither Kaplan had appeared on Good Morning America. James is absolutely not a Harvey Weinstein, Tither Kaplan said. He is not an unfeeling monster who has no sense of reality. He created an exploitative environment for non-celebrity women on his sets. Paley added that she felt he took advantage of his position as an A-list celebrity, offering help to unknowns looking to break into a hyper-competitive industry. I was young. He was a celebrity that I looked up to, she said, asking Franco to please just apologize. A few days later, Vanity Fair confirmed it had edited Franco out of its Hollywood portfolio cover. Still, he held on to his spot in The Deuce, with actor and producer Maggie Gyllenhaal eventually explaining that while she took the allegations very seriously and spoke to every woman involved with the production about Franco, she ultimately felt it would have been the wrong consequence to those accusations to shut our show down. On October 3rd, 2019, Tither Kaplan and Tony Gall, another Studio 4 student who hadn't spoken to the LA Times, sued Franco in Los Angeles County Superior Court, alleging that he and his business partners engaged in widespread inappropriate behavior towards female students by their power as a teacher and an employer by dangling the opportunity for roles in their projects. With his acting school, they said Franco sought to create a pipeline of young women who were subjected to his personal and professional ass exploitation in the name of education. In a subsequent court filing, Franco's attorneys described the allegations as false and inflammatory, legally baseless, and brought as a class action with the obvious goal of grabbing as much publicity as possible for attention-hungry plaintiffs. They also praised the tremendous and important contributions of both the Me Too movement and the Time's Up legal fund. What's more, a lawyer for the Interview star, Michael Plonsker, told The Hollywood Reporter in a statement that Franco has yet to be served with the complaint and said the allegations have already been debunked in the past. The statement read, "This is not the first time that these claims have been made and they have already been debunked. We have not had an opportunity to review the ill-informed complaint in depth since it was leaked to the press before it was filed, and our client has yet to even be served," Plonsker continued. James will not only fully defend himself, but will also seek damages from the plaintiffs and their attorneys for filing this scurrilous publicity-seeking lawsuit. Silence followed the lawsuit's filing, and Franco flew largely under the radar. But after almost 2 quiet years, an Associated Press report indicated the case was closed. A joint status report from February 11, 2021, said that Tither Kaplan and Gall had agreed to drop their claims and that the larger class action lawsuit would be dismissed without prejudice, meaning plaintiffs could refile at a later date. Franco himself did not comment on the settlement, which The Hollywood Reporter later totaled at $2.2 million. About 2 months after the lawsuit was settled, comedian Charlene Yee said on Instagram that they had tried to quit the disaster artist after learning about the allegations against Franco. In response, they said producer Seth Rogen minimized their concerns and tried to bribe them with a bigger acting role to keep them on board. Enablers are just as toxic and are abusers too, Yee said, disgusted by white men choosing power over protecting children and women from predators. Educate, organize, and dismantle corruption in your circles and in the law. Rogen and Franco were longtime friends and frequent collaborators at that point, but in an interview with the Sunday Times the following month, Rogen said he had no plans to work with Franco again. "What I can say is that I despise abuse and harassment," he said, "and I would never cover or conceal the actions of someone doing it, or knowingly put someone in a situation where they were around someone like that." Rogen intimated that their professional relationship had ended because of the misconduct allegations and that he regretted his 2018 pledge to keep working with Franco. However, at the end of 2021, James Franco made a public appearance in an attempt to rehabilitate his image. In 2021, James Franco, the acclaimed actor and director, made a significant public statement by breaking his silence on the misconduct allegations that had been levied against him. Franco chose the platform of SiriusXM's The Jess Cagle podcast to engage in a wide-ranging interview where he offered insight into his decision to speak out about these accusations. His candid revelations not only shed light on his personal journey, but also raised important questions about the nature of SL misconduct, accountability, and the complexities of addressing such issues in the public eye. Franco began by reflecting on the period when the allegations against him first emerged in 2018. He acknowledged that, at that moment, his instinct was to remain silent and refrain from offering any immediate response. He explained, in 2018, there were some complaints about me and an article about me, and at that moment I just thought, I'm going to be quiet, I'm going to pause. It did not seem like the right time to say anything. This initial decision to withhold his comments was driven by an understanding that people were genuinely upset with him, and he recognized the importance of listening to their concerns. Franco highlighted an important perspective shared by writer Damon Young, who had articulated a common human instinct when faced with allegations of this nature. Young had observed that the immediate urge in such situations is to make it stop, to swiftly address the issue, and to apologize as if these actions would provide a quick resolution. However, as Franco eloquently pointed out, such a reaction often fails to address the deeper underlying issues. He said, whatever you did, even if it was a gaffe or you said something wrong or whatever, there's probably an iceberg underneath that behavior, of patterning, of just being blind to yourself that isn't going to just be solved overnight. Franco's insight here highlights the complexity of addressing accusations of SA. It underscores the importance of not just addressing the immediate situation, but also delving into the underlying causes and patterns that may contribute to such behavior. In essence, he recognized that a deeper, more reflective approach was necessary to bring about genuine change. Continuing the conversation, Franco revealed that he had been on a personal journey of self-discovery and transformation. He expressed confidence that he had spent approximately 4 years working on himself, grappling with his actions, and endeavoring to make amends for his past behavior. His commitment to this process extended back to a period when he was already in recovery for substance abuse. In a revealing admission, Franco disclosed that his struggle with addiction had persisted for years, even after he had successfully overcome his battle with alcohol addiction at a young age. Speaking about his experience with addiction, he described it as a powerful force that had an enduring grip on him for 2 decades.
Attention from women, success with women, also became a huge source of validation for me.
It was a hidden facet of his life as he remained sober from alcohol and continued to attend meetings for addiction recovery. He even sought to help others through sponsorship, all while unknowingly succumbing to the allure of addiction. Franco admitted that he had been unfaithful in his relationships and had cheated on everyone prior to his relationship with Isabel Paxad. He explained that he had been incapable of maintaining fidelity in his relationships, largely due to his inability to be fully present for his partners and the people in his life. This struggle had not only caused him immense personal pain, but had also caused harm to those who were entangled in his life. Franco's revelation about his inability to comprehend power dynamics and the feelings of those around him added another layer of complexity to his self-reflection. He acknowledged that he had been completely blind to power dynamics or anything like that, but also completely blind to people's feelings. This admission emphasized how he had been oblivious to the consequences of his actions, reinforcing the idea that addiction, in its various forms, can cloud an individual's judgment and empathy. Furthermore, Franco openly confessed that he had engaged in relationships with students. While acknowledging the gravity of his actions, he clarified that this was not a calculated strategy on his part. He stated,
But over the course of my teaching, I did sleep with students, and that was wrong.
He then went on to add, "It's not why I started the school, and I wasn't the person that selected the people to be in the class, so it wasn't a master plan on my part. But yes, there were certain instances where, you know what, I was in a consensual thing with a student and I shouldn't have been." This revelation undoubtedly raised ethical concerns and brought into question the power dynamics that exist between educators and students, especially in a creative environment. Franco went on to explain his mindset at the time, acknowledging that he was not thinking clearly. He said, "At the time, I was not clear-headed, as I've said, so I guess it just comes down to my criteria was like, if this is consensual, like, I think it's cool. We're all adults, so..." While he recognized the importance of consent, he appeared to grapple with the complexity of the situation, hinting at a broader issue within society, how we define and navigate consent, particularly within power imbalances. In the aftermath of the SE misconduct allegations that James Franco faced, it became apparent that his career in Hollywood had taken a significant hit. For a considerable period of time following the allegations, Franco seemed to have been effectively blacklisted by the industry, with scarce opportunities for work. It appeared as though his once thriving acting and directing career had come to a standstill as a result of the controversy. However, the year 2022 brought about a surprising turn of events for the actor. Franco was cast in a pivotal role in the coming-of-age period film Me, You, directed by the esteemed filmmaker Bill August. This marked a long-awaited return to the spotlight for James Franco, as it was his first major project since 2019. His previous ventures included roles in the TV series The Deuce and voiceover work for the animated film Arctic Dogs. Franco expressed his enthusiasm and anticipation for this new opportunity, saying, "I am excited to board this phenomenal project and to be working with the legendary You. I'm a huge fan of his work, and Me, You is a truly brilliant script." This statement reflected his eagerness to reestablish himself in the industry and collaborate with a celebrated director like Bill August. The resurgence of James Franco in the world of acting has stirred a profound debate regarding the extent to which he can reattain the zenith of his career, or if he should even be permitted to continue his work as an actor. In an era marked by the prevalence of cancel culture and its penchant for career-ruining furors, particularly in the aftermath of the Me Too movement, a substantial number of individuals firmly believe that James Franco should have been unequivocally canceled after the avalanche of allegations and his own subsequent admissions, which did not bode well for his public image. Navigating this discourse can be akin to walking on a precarious tightrope. One perspective posits that Franco may warrant a chance at redemption, while the allegations against him are undeniably grave. It is worth noting that he has, to some extent, acknowledged them. Furthermore, he chose the path of amicable resolution, rather than embarking on a protracted legal battle. In many ways, he has been candid about his prior behavior and expressed a genuine desire for personal change. Yet the question that lingers is whether his professed transformation is truly sincere and accompanied by meaningful action. In any case, it appears like his fans have already begun forgiving him. One fan wrote, "I applaud James Franco for owning up to what he did and now is working on himself and starting to become a better person after that. Most celebrities don't do that, but this makes me like him 100 times more. Always have been a fan and will always be a fan of his." Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.